Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I'd like to show you my orchid collection and give you guys an update on how it's doing. So I think the last time I showed you most of them had finished flowering, whereas now the end of winter, beginning of spring, it's beginning of April time, the sun's getting a bit warmer, they're getting a bit more energy and they're starting to grow their flowers again. So the orchids generally in the wild, they'll flower during the winter. So because they've had quite a long period of quite cool weather, they're now coming to the flowering stage. And with a little bit of extra sunshine we're having now, it's giving it the extra energy to really put on a good display. So this is my first one, which is a miniature orchid. And all of my orchids that I'm going to talk about today are Phalaenopsis orchids. So you can see here it's got lovely flowers. I think we've got 5 flowers on there now. And it's still growing quite a lot with new buds, so I know it's going to continue. And I've been feeding them a high potassium feed. And I've got them on this windowsill because it only gets direct sunlight last thing at night, so any direct sun it does get is quite weak. It's not going to burn the leaves, but at the same time it's quite a bright windowsill and it gets a lot of light throughout the day, so it's kind of perfect for the orchids. So the next one here is a slightly bigger one. These flowers on the top here have been open for quite a while actually, probably about 2 months, but recently it started to grow a second branch off the side here, so I'm hoping that will grow up. I might, if it's quite wobbly, I might just train it onto this stem, this support bamboo here. Otherwise I'll just leave it and I'll have some nice flowers coming off the side. Then my biggest orchid is this one here. It's got a great root system and big leaves, so I'm hoping it's going to have a lot of flowers on it. And so far it's opened up 4 flowers. And what I've been doing is I've been trying to train the flower spike up as straight as I can up the stick. And then I got it to a good height, and now I want it to kind of come gently and curve down. I think it looks quite nice when you've got lots of them coming up straight and then it curves over. So as you can see here, it's got lots of new buds coming. It's going to have lots of flowers. Hopefully this will keep growing, and I'm hoping to get maybe 10, maybe even 20 flowers on this plant. We'll see. At the moment I've got 4 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At least 9 or 10 flowers it will have in one go. See if I can get this bud to keep growing, and maybe I can get up to 15 or 20, and that will look really spectacular. And I'm also angling it so the light is on one side at one time, so what's going to happen is the flowers normally face the light, so that's why these all face in the same direction. Hopefully all these new buds will face that way, and once all the flowers are open then I'll turn it around and then the flowers will be facing into the room. But at the moment I've got them facing away from the room so that they all face in the same direction. And the last orchid is my white one here, and it looks like it's not going to flower for a little while. I thought it might flower again, so I cut back the shoot to the right height, but it hasn't really grown any new shoots, and actually I think this flower shoot has died. But it's gone into the vegetative stage. I thought it might not do because it's got quite a lot of leaves already, and it's just gone through the winter, and normally at the end of the winter is a good time for these to start flowering. But what's happened is the roots have started growing. You can see here this root, the end of it's gone quite bright green and it's got active growth, which shows that it's going into the vegetative stage. But also if I look in the center, there's a tiny little leaf coming out of the last leaf there, so it's going to start growing leaves again. So it might not flower for a while, but the good thing is the more leaves it has, the more energy it has for flowers, and the better flowering we should have. And that's why, for example, this orchid here, which has 4 kind of medium-sized leaves, it only grew about 6 flowers, whereas this orchid here, which has 5 large leaves, has 5 very large leaves, so to say. If you see the two, see how much more leaves this one has than this. That's why this one should have about 10 leaves growing on it. So that's doing quite well, and that's my orchid collection at the moment. I'll give you guys an update soon on my dendrobium orchid, because that's starting to do some quite interesting things, but I'll leave that for another video.